Michael Hernandez here of MLH Media, and we are back today once again to speak to one of the top prospects in California, a huge event going on July 20th, A1 Combat. Hector Fajardo, the co-main event over there. How you doing today, my man?
I'm doing great. Ready to get this show on the road. Got the co-main event slot, so I'm excited to do some things out at the Hard Rock. I get to go back to the Hard Rock, so I'm super excited to put on a show for A1 yet again.
Yeah, what has the road back to the Hard Rock been? I know that was kind of, obviously you've had some performances there in the past, but I mean, just speak about the last fight that you had over there, A1 Combat 17, just the road back to getting back in the cage, because I know for someone like you got a lot of things on your plate, man. So kind of how's everything been, balancing everything in and getting everything locked in for a fight camp like this one?
It's been a journey. Honestly, like my last fight was January at Sac State on the A1 card, and my new job got announced. The Combat U program got announced. I literally, as soon as I stepped off weigh-ins, I had a press conference. Literally, I'm not joking. As I stepped off the scale, I had the initial press conference for the announcement of Combat U, and then obviously we had the fight at Sac State. So I had to fight with Arnold, and it was a decision that did not go my way. But yeah, literally I started my job like that Monday, like no joke. I had the fight. I walked into the office on Monday, and we just started hammering everything with the program. It forced me to take a little bit of a break for the first month or two, which was good, given I just came off a fight. I've had a couple months to like get my schedule and everything dialed in with the university. It's been huge. It's been good. I've been able to balance everything out. The university's been super supportive with my schedule, and everything's been great. And the program's scheduled to start at the end of August, and we've just been diligently hammering details, but I've also been working my ass off. But the road back's been something that's been on my mind, especially with time going by. I've seen a lot of my teammates getting on Contender Series and getting their shots. So it just made me that much more hungry to get something lined up. And originally we were supposed to do it in Reno, and then it got switched back to the Hard Rock, which I was cool with. I liked it, and I got an extra week to prepare, so it was good. Everything just seemed to fit in perfectly.
Yeah, can you take us through that journey? Were you already licensed over there in Nevada and everything like that? Can you kind of take us through the changes that was made for? Because I know that for a couple of the fighters on the card, I mean, that's a pretty drastic thing. Possibly a hometown kind of fight being taken away from them. What were your thoughts about the move? It sounds to you like, I mean, you're with it because you're definitely sacked through and through. It seems like, for sure.
Yeah, so originally the fight was supposed to be in Reno. Just getting my opponent set up for that was something kind of crazy, because I was lined up to fight Steve Mora for a little bit, but Steve had a fight with Cage Warriors, like literally a month before that. But the crazy thing is that fight didn't end up happening because his opponent messed up on his medical. So I mean, it locked the fight in for us, but it was like. It was a maybe situation in that regard, but it got locked in. I had never fought in Nevada before, so that was something new for me. And going through the medical process, the licensing process, like it's different from state to state, but as a professional, you're in the game. It shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter if you got to do an extra test or whatnot. So Nevada had required us to do an MRA, which nothing's gonna stop me from getting in the cage when it comes to those kind of obstacles. Like as a professional, like what we're supposed to do. I just know that there was a little bit of pushback from a bunch of fighters due to the cost, which is, I get it, but like that's why we're in the sport. Like we're here to fight. We're not here to cry about the medical costs. So the licensing and stuff was, something that I was just about getting ready to finish up, and then they made the switch up for the Hard Rock, which didn't matter to me anyways. It made it actually easier, and it gave me an extra week to prepare, which was fine. I was actually prepping for Reno because it's at higher elevation. I went up there a couple times. Well, I went up there a couple times, linked up with Peyton Talbot once. to get some rounds in before his camp, because he had his camp obviously on the 303 card, and then it lined up with mine. So, you know, just to help him out with some looks and rounds, I went up there too, and to kind of blow out my lungs a little bit. So it's cool. It's just been it's a roller coaster. But look, as long as I got a fight and I got an opponent that's locked in, I don't care where the hell I'm fighting. But it is nice that that it's at the Hard Rock and not inside of a ballroom. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a fan of fighting in ballrooms. It's just not. It's not the same. It's not the same energy. So I'm excited to be on a stage. Sure. No, man, it's, you know, going back and fighting in the ballroom at Sac State. Like, I was hoping it would have been the Nest or something bigger, but it was in a ballroom, and I was just like, whatever. Like, you go in there and you fight. You know, you fight to fight.
It kind of feels like you're at like a dinner / fight. You know, maybe like a little like blood sport type action a little bit whenever you're in those like ballroom kind of, because I've been to events too where it's just like a convention center more so, and then obviously the ballroom. But I feel like Hard Rock Sex almost became like a second or a first home for A1 Combat now. It's really settled in over there. So definitely
makes sense.
Very pleasing for you to be over there and for you to be making the return over there to A1 Combat over there. But you're speaking a little bit on a subject I wanted to bring up as well. I know that the elevation was going to be a big thing going into Reno, but you also got to pay a visit to a former opponent of yours, now a friend, someone that he always makes a joke of, a coworker of his in the office, and Peyton Talbot. How has that kind of been to evolve that relationship from being foes in the cage, but then obviously just getting together, working together? It seems like, obviously, seeing you guys at A1 Combat events in the past, you guys have developed quite the relationship over the time being. Like
I said, Peyton and I had a war, and we had a bit of a respect for each other after that. Like, I took that fight on 2 weeks. We put on a banger. Yeah, I was a little pissy that I didn't get the fight of the night bonus. But we always had a little bit of respect. Like, we always had respect for each other throughout that. And it was one of those things where it's like, I knew I was going to cross paths with him again, whether it was a rematch or on the training mat. And that's just kind of how life goes. And, yeah. And then just like one day, because Uriah basically started managing him after our fight. And they notified me. They told me, they were like, "Hey, by the way, you know, we just started managing Peyton Talbot. Like, he's gonna come in and train here, sporadically. Or like, are you okay with that?" And I was like, "Yeah, dude. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm cool with it, because we're all competitors. But at the same time, I'm like, look, like, in this business, it's either like, I can make it a negative or I can make it a positive." And then, like I said, his character's always been pretty good. Well, actually, very good. He's got good character, so it's one of those things where I'm like, dude's not an asshole. He's not a prick. Let's just see what happens. We're gonna push each other. And the thing is, he always did a good job of like bringing out that dog in all of us, and all of us that fought him. He would pop in like 2 times a month, or like once or twice a month, to come in and spar. And he's like, as you can see, like, he's a great asset to the team, or a great asset to have around. And as a person, he's a good person to add to the room. So I never had an issue with it. And, you know, we've grown a little bit closer. I'd still punch him in the face if they threw some money in front of me. Like, we both have a great amount of respect and admiration for each other. But like, we still try to kill each other whenever we go with each other. It's like picking up like rounds 3, 4, 5 from our fight. So it's like, we're always trying to push each other. And, yeah, he's a very unique individual, and I have the utmost respect for him as a fighter. Like, he's killing it, and I mean, it's amazing to see him turn into the kind of superstar that like he is turning into. Like, I'll tell you, like, you know, fighting him on 2 weeks, I wasn't the most excited, but I knew that this guy, there was a reason that put him on the title shot, and it's like, you're gonna have to fight guys like that. Like I said, you run my resume. Like, I don't duck anyone. So it's good to have him around as a resource. And then, of course, like, we all help him out too. We've all helped him grow. So it's been a good trade. It's been a good relationship. And I wanted to finally take advantage of, because he's come to Alpha Mill multiple times, and I've always, like, not bullshitted, but I've always been like, you know what? I'm going to make a drive out there. I'm going to take a drive out to Reno. But nobody really wants to drive to Reno because it's 2.5 hours out. So nobody's taking the time to go out his way. And he's come down to us so much. So to me, it was just kind of like, I was like, this is a perfect opportunity for me to go up there and give back to his team, because Sinjin's also like a great guy. Like the coaching staff at Reno Academy of Combat, like they're all super dope. So it was a good opportunity for me to go back up there and get some work in at the same time and just like connect. But yeah, no, it was a good situation. It made sense, and I wanted to take advantage of the elevation up there and the rounds. Like I said, we're both in camp. It just made the most sense. And as you can see, like his performance showed really well. He did an excellent job, and it just pushes and motivates me more to just keep. I got to catch up to these guys. Like Billy just got his Contender Series shot. Like Peyton's in there. Jack Duffy got his shot. Like everyone's starting to get their shot, and it's like I don't want to be the guy that gets left out. So I'll have a little bit of extra urgency to get where I need to get.
That's the thing for sure. I mean, I feel like all the Sacramento like A1 combat guys kind of all started recently getting that shot, and possibly Hector Fajardo lining himself up to get a little bit of that similar shot at July 20th at A1 Combat when you look to take on Steve Mora. Steve Mora also on that A1 Combat card that you were once on in January over there in Sacramento State. What are your thoughts behind the opponent? I mean, I know you were saying before that it was a matchup you're looking at before, and then everything was able to ink in. But I feel like this is a like how you said, you don't really duck any fights, no cupcakes, as we kind of talked about in our previous interview. So I feel like this Steve Mora is definitely kind of one of those opponents that has a little bit of that same kind of thought behind the matchup. What are your thoughts behind it all?
I really base myself on the quality of my opponents, and they're all very, in some way, shape, or form, they're all very high level. Like I don't like fighting walkthroughs or like tomato cans. Steve isn't one of them. I respect the hell out of Steve because he's fought on a bunch of different A1 shows. We've been on the same shows or shows that I've cornered where I've seen him on the card. So he's someone that I know who he is. I've kept I keep an eye on everybody on the region, just in general. But Steve got into the sport and had a very rough start. Like, I believe he started off 1-3, but against some pretty tough competition. I honestly thought he won. There could have been a case made that he won the Gagery fight. That was a close fight. Rounders MMA has tough guys, and they're well-rounded, and they're not afraid of shit. So I've kept an eye on Steve, and he's a high-level professional. He gives himself to the sport fully. Like I can kind of get the vibe that he doesn't bullshit. So seeing him his last 3 fights come out of basically out of a hole and basically get on a 3-fight winning streak, like that speaks volumes in this sport. Like that means he stuck it through and he figured something out, and he got to a place where like he's on a roll, and I admire that. And that's something that I want to, like, for me, like, this is an opportunity for me to essentially bounce back and take his momentum. Like I said, he's on a 3-fight streak. I honestly think it would have been 4 if he would have fought on that Cage Warriors card. That would have been 4 in a row, and that looked like it looked appetizing to me to see somebody on such a run like that. He's a well-rounded opponent. He's tough as hell. He's Latin, so you already know that's going to be a recipe for a show. And yeah, I'm excited to cross paths with him. It's going to be a good show, and I'm even more excited because it's a co-main event slot. So all eyes are going to be on us, and like I said, I like him tough. I think he's going to be ready to go. This is a good opportunity for me to gain some momentum back, which I need to get going now. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to bounce back, get back on the winning track, and start reeling out some wins and getting on another run. Like, I was on a good run before. I was catching my stride really well, and then had a little bit of a hiccup. So, which is all part of the sport. And so now I just need to rectify that. And it starts with beating Steve, and then working my way back up, and then taking out whoever I need to take out to get my spot.
That 145 title is going to be on the line July 26th over there at Tachi Palace. Is there a chance that we could possibly see, I mean, a big win Big win over there on July 20th. You throwing I know you got to fight for that 135 strap, but possibly throwing your name into the ring for that 145 A1 title. And that A1 title 145 has definitely brought some good pastures. You got Ernie Juarez now making the trip over there to Dana White Contender Series. What are your thoughts about possibly qualifying yourself for that?
Yeah, that's another one. Another guy that worked his way up to Contender Series. I mean, he earned it. The guy went out and respectfully made his way out the way he should have. Yeah, I don't know about 145. I'll tell you what. Eric Sanchez is a good teammate of mine. I hope he wins it. I'm really rooting for him. I think it's time for him to get that belt. He's a very, very dangerous veteran, and like I said, he's a teammate of mine. So assuming Eric wins the title as he should, that wouldn't be something that I'm interested in because Eric's my boy. But Bruno's been on a run. He fought my boy Teru. I cornered against Bruno when he fought Taruto. So that'll be interesting. That'll be an interesting fight. We'll see what shakes out of that. I think right now the only thing that's on my mind for me linearly is taking care of Steve the way I'm supposed to, and then getting on another run. I think my vision is just get into the next opponent and then see what happens after that. When it comes to belts and titles, we'll see what opens up. Originally when you see like when Ernie vacated because he got the call, like, yeah, it did creep in my mind possibly, but at the same time, like, I'm a 35er, like straight up, like. I'll be a 35er unless I get that call from the big show, and then I'll be whatever fucking weight they want me at. if I get that call, like I think the only time I would fight out of weight class is for an opportunity to fight at that, and it would be like, oh yeah, we need someone at 155. Someone got hurt or slipped on a banana peel, and like I would raise my hand. I would fight at any weight class to get an opportunity at the big show. But while I'm on the region, I mean, I'm a 35er, but I don't know. We'll see what shakes out. Initially, Eric's going to win that title, and then that'll be it, and that'll be his division, and he'll handle it the way he should until he gets his call, and then maybe we'll see what happens with Dwight. Dwight's our bantamweight champ at A1, so he should be getting a fight, or he should be getting a call, or he should be doing something should be shaking out there. So we'll see. The only thing I want to focus on is smacking up Steve, and then getting maybe one more. I probably will look to get on the September card. I mean, not probably. I am going to get on the September card after this. As long as I don't get any, injuries out of this. That's the goal. And then I got some guys I've been looking at, but like I said, my focus is Steve.
I think we're going to definitely have to sit down once again once the fight is done and over with and get to talk about a couple of those possibilities, because I know you keep everything close to the chest. So I know I won't get any of those names out of you now, but just wanted to ask you about that 145, because like how you said, I know you're trying to get to that fast track to the UFC, trying to get your puncher ticket in, and that A1 combat has kind of served as a way to get into that UFC and to get into the Dana White Contender Series. So possibly with seeing your ways of going about that, but of course got your teammate Eric Sanchez going to look to possibly become a champion on July 26th. Hector Fajardo, it has been such a great time getting to speak with you. As always, you always have a lot of insight into the fight game. And I mean, you even took this interview on the day of your wife's birthday, which I hopefully didn't set off any alarms over there, but hopefully you're going to go enjoy it. What's the birthday dinner? Or is it a surprise?
So first of all, happy birthday to my wife, Corey Fajardo McKenna. She's my wife, and yeah, she's it's her birthday today. We both have been super busy. So we're gonna wait until after this fight to celebrate her birthday. Like obviously, yeah, we're gonna keep it chill. Like she's gonna get her birthday gifts and whatnot and all that. But like our actual like legitimate celebration, I think what we're gonna end up doing is because my birthday is actually July 25th. So we're probably just gonna try to consolidate our celebration into one. We had our first wedding anniversary earlier in June, and now we're just gonna we're probably gonna consolidate our birthday celebration until after the fight. She's been working hard. She's actually working really, really hard right now. with our duplex. Like we have a duplex, and she's putting down the elbow grease as we speak. So I'm over here in the office working my ass off at the university and training, and then she's working on our property, and yeah, and then also getting ready, trying to stay ready for a fight. She wants to get back on and get on her own winning streak, which I'm excited to see. But yeah, it's happy birthday to my beautiful wife. I'm super proud and excited to see what we're both going to end up doing.
It is definitely going to be a very exciting, I would say, kind of a barn burner of a co-main event over there. Steve Mora, Hector Fajardo, and I mean, Hector, I can't thank you enough for always being on the program and always giving us the kind of sneak peeks and little exclusives into Combat U. But is there anything else you could give us, my man? I know you were saying you're laying down the mats. Uriah said you guys are looking for fighters, but anything, any sneak peeks, any guys that you possibly bringing in, any ambassadors new to the program? Spill. This is the time for the Combat U talking, man, because I definitely want to hear it. I think fans out there too.
Yeah, so you'll get the Combat U exclusive right now. We're in the process to start in August, late August. We're going to open registration. Facilities will be built by then, and we have a lot of high-level recruits that are involved. Just the amount of students that have contacted me telling me that they want to either pursue an MMA career or transfer has been absolutely ridiculous. We've had high-level wrestlers, national wrestlers come over and just basically message me like, hey, I want to come over here and I want to start an MMA career, which has been huge. I've actually had a couple wrestlers, I kid you not, leave their scholarships to try to transfer here to enter the portal, which I think is absolutely insane.
No, that's insane. That's crazy.
It's insane. Right, yeah, it's insane in a great way, because we're giving opportunities and not just competitive wrestling. Like we have wrestling at the club level, but we're giving opportunities in as far as competitive Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Our boxing team has 147 interested prospects currently, and Brandon Gonzalez has done a good job of doing summer workouts with the boxing team, so they'll be ready to compete in the fall. Kickboxing will be ready to go. We're in the process of just organizing all our competitive organizations from a collegiate level. So things are going really fast, and for me on a recruiting level, I have been like I said, I've been working on recruiting a lot of athletes who have reached out. High-level international athletes, grapplers. It's crazy with the sport now, because now you're getting a lot of prospects that have been doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu since they were like 5 years old, but then wrestled and then learned how to strike. So it's like high caliber talent that with kids that have been doing it since they were like 5, and now all of a sudden they're like coming out at like the collegiate high school level, and they're like ready to go. So super excited. I actually have a visit with a student coming in next week. He made his commitment to Sac State via Zoom, and he's coming for his freshman orientation. And then while he's at his freshman orientation, he's going to train with Team Alpha Male for the week to get an evaluation. So that being said, there are scholarships available. So that brings out a lot more interest. We have our first batch of scholarship athletes that we will be ready to announce. So that'll keep under wraps, but we actually have, there's a path set out that we've worked on diligently, in this short amount of time. Like things got announced in January and end of January, and now here we are, like just hammering everything away. So I'm super excited. The university's been amazing with supporting us, and making sure that we have the resources available and everything ready to go, so that we can have an excellent program running come in the fall. So yeah, big things ahead. I'll be able to give you more information, but we're gonna announce our scholarship athletes, and we're gonna unveil the facilities when everything's ready to go. But it's basically like, it's crazy because the program isn't just about recruiting top-notch talent. That's only one piece of it. It's open at all levels. So from a recreational level, there's also opportunities. So that involves the entire student body, which is ridiculous. Like we have, I think from a prospect or interest form or interest level, we have about 700 students that are interested in the program. So I'm tasked with organizing all that and making sure that everything flows the way it's supposed to, because this is a university program. So there's, everything has to be running clean and smooth.
And it is definitely looking to be running clean and smooth over there for Combat University, looking to be gracing the landscape of Sacramento, California come fall 2024. And oh my gosh, Hector, you got a lot on your plate over there, my man, but an absolute pleasure as always to get to speak to you and to get to talk to you before your upcoming bouts. Thank you so much for your time today. Anybody you want to thank before we end this thing off?
Yeah, no, I definitely would like to thank first and foremost my wife on her birthday. So shout out, she gets first dibs. Definitely Team Alpha Male, Uriah Faber. Without Uriah Faber and without Team Alpha Male, none of this happens. That's Combat U, A1 Combat, all of that. Like it just doesn't happen. It's I've gotten major opportunities just because of that, and so that's a huge thank you to Team Alpha Male and Uriah Faber. But huge shout out to Sac State President Luke Wood, who's one of the architects for Combat U in general, and just being a good person that's willing to invest time and resource into something that he believes in, and that that guy just wants to grant as many dreams as he can. And I appreciate the passion, and also like to thank my coaches for helping me with this camp, my teammates for helping me with this camp, my management, Iridium Sports for handling everything, Jeremy Luchow, Jason House. I've been with them for many years now, so a big thank you to them for always having my back. And just saw the support around the Sacramento area now that we're at the Hard Rock. So I'm excited to get that energy back and feel the support. Like the last time I was there, it was quite crazy when I fought Ty Costa, and that I can't wait to feel that crowd again, and just that walkout that I did last time was super energizing. And I'm excited, especially being a co-main event. People know what they're going to get, and I'm just excited to blow the roof off the place and make a statement and get back to my winning ways and do what I'm supposed to be doing.
I think the fight fans are definitely very excited for July 20th. A1 Combat, Hector Fajardo, Steve Mora over there for A1 Combat 22. It is going to be an absolutely fun one. A little bit of late July fireworks. Michael Hernandez here of MLH Media in the 559 going to be signing out with Hector Fajardo over there in the 916. Thank you always for your time, my man.
Thanks for having me, man. It's always a pleasure to be on here and to help support the regional media. You're doing great work, and congratulations on being an announcer or commentating. You're growing in the sport. But you're on 559 now, so good to see you getting into that promotion.
Hey, well, I will be over there for A1 Combat July 20th, commentating your fight as well for your co-main event. So I will be very excited to get to speak on not only 559, but your fight as well. So always a pleasure, Hector. Thank you.
Likewise. Thank you.